Good morning, everyone. I am Judy Studebaker.
You're not speaking.
What?
Not on.
He's on.
It's on.
Testing. All right. I'm Judy Studebaker. Welcome to all of you. I'm glad to see this many people here this month. But before we get started, I have some comments that I want to make. I am ashamed, I'm stunned, and I'm angry. I don't know how many of you were here at the first reservation meeting last week, but it got out of hand. There was bullying. Are you kidding me? We are not 2-year-olds. We're not a nursery school. We are an adult, supposedly, community of respectful people. We should be respectful of ourselves. We should be respectful of our neighbors. And we should especially be respectful of our dining team, who works so hard to give us good meals. People have complained about having to wait in the lobby. Then they complained that it took an hour and a half to 2 hours to get their meal. They are working very hard to make that smoother. Your food, a lot of your food is cooked to order. That takes time. If the kitchen is overloaded, it's going to take a lot more time. So I think that we all should give this reservation thing a try with a good attitude. If you don't want to make reservations on your computer or your phone, you can stop by the host desk and they will do it for you. And I think we need to be respectful of ourselves, of each other, and of all the staff, especially the dining team. Thank you. Andrea has a few words to say.
Not on this topic, I promise. I just want to remind everybody that this weekend, we are going to help you check your voter registration if you would like. We will be in the lobbies. The hours are posted, an hour in north, an hour in south, and then an hour in south, and then an hour north on Sunday and Monday. So, ballots, mail-in ballots start arriving on the 14th. I'm hoping I can get sample ballots before then. I'm not sure if I can. But come by and check your registration, make sure everything is all set, so that we can go smoothly into the midterms, okay?
Good, thank you.
Question, Andrea. Will we be able to verify what our signature looks like there?
You'll see it online.
Okay, great.
Is
I have
there
no
any-
idea what it looked like when I registered
Is
20
there any
years
chance
ago.
they'll have a bus to the polling place?
If we have enough people who want to, we could. Most of us, I think, like to vote by mail, but we could vote in person. If it's it'll be on a Tuesday, so it's during the week. And if we've got enough people to justify a bus, I'm sure Ginger can work something out, can't you?
Of course.
Yeah, we'll work, because we all vote in the same place.
Yeah,
so,
right.
yeah. All right? Thank you.
I don't trust mail-in ballots like I used to.
All right, thank you, ladies. Good morning, everybody. We're going to start with our administrative report, and we'll give you an update. Let me pull this down. This is way too loud. Is that better?
Yes.
All right. So during the last few weeks, you've noticed an increase in COVID. You've noticed it not only here at the community, but throughout Pinellas County, and for that matter, much of the country. So it's one of the variants that is very contagious. The good news is it's not particularly deadly. It has mild to moderate symptoms as opposed to more severe symptoms. We have had a couple of significant outbreaks here at Regency. Our South building has had an outbreak, as well as our skilled nursing team. So we've had about a 12% of our overall campus population who have tested positive over the last 5 weeks. The good news is over the last 7 days, we've seen about a 30% decline in the number of new cases testing positive for COVID. Kyle and his team have just done an exceptional job over at the skilled nursing, and part of his presentation today is to share some of his strategies and how successful they have been in preventing COVID from spreading. At the start of June, Regency Oaks experienced a fire in the R wing. It was a 2-alarm fire. It did a pretty substantial amount of damage. We have just finished the restoration phase of the fire. Over the weekend, the blue team pulled their team out, and along with it, all the dryers, the dehumidifiers, the fans, everything has been sealed up, and we're now ready to enter the construction phase. We had about 40 units that were impacted, and we had 37 residents who were dislocated. We're beginning to see these residents come back to the community. We've welcomed back 12 families so far. We have another 5 that are scheduled to come in over the course of the next 7 days. So please look for our returning residents and make them feel welcome. We also did end up with 8 apartments that were pretty much damaged to the point where they had to be gutted and taken down to the frames. Those residents are going to be away from the community for an extended period of time. We have, at this point, now that remediation is done and we're getting ready to start construction, we're turning our attention to the legal attorneys and insurance people. And so working to resolve those issues and support the residents who are impacted as they have to navigate their way through the settlement phase. In 2023 budgeting cycle is getting ready to start. It opens next Monday. We have extended invitations to our board and our finance team to come and participate and provide input to the budgeting process. We are at the point where we are developing the strategic plan with the board of directors. We've had a couple of meetings and we'll wrap that up over the next week or so. Perry has been working on the competition analysis, the marketing plan, and collaborating with me to develop the business plan. Those are the narratives. That's the start of the budgeting season. We do that in the month of June. And then our next step, Sherry will be opening up the books and we'll start looking at revenue and occupancy projections. The budgets are anticipated to be done around the 1st of September, and then we will start defending them first at the division level and then ultimately to peak. Major capital projects remaining for this year include the perimeter road. We're going to be doing a 5th of the perimeter road, and that's going to include a partial walking path. We don't have enough funds to do the entire thing, but it is going to have some a walking path.
Good idea.
We're going to see the pathways between the north and the south building. Everything on the breezeway is going to be covered in pavers. That's going to give us a long-term solution. All of you long-timers probably know that every year we have to go out there and paint those the pathways, and it just doesn't hold up. We think this is going to be a long-term solution that will keep it looking fresh and be a little easier to maintain. And then Darwin is finishing up the remediation of the cooling towers and has that project underway. Toby Shugart, is Toby here? Where are you, Toby? Raise your hand. I don't see you yet. Oh, way in the back, okay. Thank you, Toby. Toby and her design team have been working hard. They've had a couple of initial projects, and they have selected the finishes for the new pedicure chair and the beauty salon, and also the cushions for this north building private dining room. Those chairs had just completely fallen apart, and so Toby, good job, and I know you're looking forward to being able to share the results of some of your initial projects. Construction updates. The Gastro Pub is scheduled to open Monday, the 18th. And so we're about a little more than a week away. It's going to initially just open for dinner, and then the following week it will open for breakfast and lunch. We're going to phase it in to give Ricky and his team an opportunity to adjust to the new menu and make sure you have a great experience. The beauty salon and spa, which originally we had shared was going to be completed at the end of this month. We're not going to make that target. I think we're probably another 3 weeks out. Darwin walked it with me yesterday, and it looks very similar to where they were 3 weeks ago when we closed it. So we'll continue to push them and try to get that thing open sometime in August. Woodworking shop, which has been closed this week. They've been working on the new electrical panel so that the woodworking equipment will have its own power source and it's not going to be shared with the beauty salon. One of the things that was happening for any of our woodworkers is anytime you used 2 power tools at one time, it would blow a fuse, and so we're going to correct that long-term problem. The town hall, as everybody knows, has also slipped behind in the schedule. The contractor tells us we are at least 3 weeks behind. So that is going to end up pushing the opening date from October 14th into the 1st of November. Yesterday, they started working on the block. That was where the delay was occurring, is the trusses had been on site for many weeks, but they couldn't get the brick masons to come out and finish the brickwork. They had a robust crew out there consisting of 1 yesterday. And I haven't seen this morning if they have a few more, but that's the sequencing, is that they're going to finish up the block work, they'll put the trusses in, and then get the roof. The unfortunate thing about the delay is we were trying to get the thing under roof before the heavy rains of summer hit, and we did not make that target. So there are potential rain days, lost rain days, that we're going to be impacted until we get that roof on. And so we're not past, not quite over the hurdle yet, and we'll just continue to monitor that. Just a couple of odds and ends to share with you of the booster shots. I wanted to remind everyone, if you missed the last booster clinic, we can still get you shots. Please let Leslie, the front desk, know, and we'll do those in small numbers. Interesting statistics, I'll just run them by you. I don't know entirely what they mean, but July 1st, every resident had to select which meal plan they were going to go with. 56% of the residents selected the meal of the day, and 44% selected the bistro meal plan. We were a little surprised that number was that high. We're sort of thinking that people are saying, okay, I'm going to stay in the bistro meal plan until October, where I have to give it up. That's what seems to make the most sense to us, but there's the raw data for whatever it means. Darwin, the FOB start date is July 19th.
They're gonna start here to do the training, and all the procedure.
Okay.
And then we'll get a better date, we're going to start actually installing.
All right, so the first thing they're going to start with is the training. We're going to have a large group meeting. They'll present the project, tell you how the FOB works, give you an opportunity to ask questions before the work actually will commence shortly thereafter. And last but not least, there is no forum in August. We always take the month of August off. You're on vacation, we're on vacation, and so we won't see you again until September. In the meantime, please continue to show up at Tuesday Talk for the weekly update. Thank you.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Friday. Sherry Shoiso, Director of Financial Services here at Regency Oaks. My financial report is on the month of May. I'm currently working on closing June's financials. I'm going to start with our occupancy percentage. Our independent living occupancy is 90.5%. That's great. 90.5%. Our assisted living is at 100%, and our skilled nursing is at 70% budget. For a total occupancy for the whole campus at 88.4% against a budget of 92.2. So our variance is under budget by 3.8%. And since AL is at 100% occupancy, we are fine to budget. IL, we're about 7, ADC, which means average daily census behind, and our skilled nursing is significantly increasing month over month, and we are almost back to budget. So our revenue, for total operating revenue, was under budget by $224,000. Of that comprised of independent living being under budget $44,000, assisted living is ahead, skilled nursing is under budget $180,000, and our IHS was at budget at $145,000 for the month. That's awesome, Christine.
Good job.
Wages. So our total salaries and wages remain under budget for the month and year to date. And that's due to vacancies of positions. But we are improving those month over month with the great recruiting efforts by our HR team, Dawn and Dee. So we are gaining momentum on filling those positions. Our controllable expenses. Now let me just make a comment about expenses to budget. If I am under budget and revenue, we need to operate under budget and our expenses. So don't think, I'm gonna tell you, we were under budget about $12,000 in total across all departments. So when we're under budget and revenue, our expenses, I call us, now we have a new benchmark, okay? If we're under in revenue, we have to operate below budget in our expenses to help minimize the loss to our budgeted NOI. So I just wanted to clarify that because it always sounds so grand, but you know, we have to do that. And it's expected to be under budget in expenses. Now that's an aggregate for the whole campus. We do have some areas where we are over in expenses. A little bit in recruiting, but I'm willing to go over budget in that because we are filling some positions utilizing an outside recruiting firm. Our non-utility expenses, that's our building repairs. They were over $18,000. We had a lot of repairs in both buildings to the elevators, and that was not as a result of the fire. Our non-controllable expenses are things we cannot control that are in the budget: taxes, insurance, and management fees. Those were under budget. So therefore, our net operating income, we were under budget by $27,000 for the month of May. But we did have a positive net operating income of $342,000 on a budget of $369,000. So we have a second half of the year facing challenges of recruiting, increased costs in our supplies, our food, chemicals, paper goods, CPI. Some of you received your increase letter in September. The consumer price index in aggregate was up 8.6%, which is the highest it's ever been in 40 years. So we diligently work to meet our budget and provide you the same quality and service month over month. Thank you.
All right, good morning, everyone. Hopefully you had a great 4th of July, and thank you guys for being here. So some updates for the healthcare center. The COVID transmission rate, as Brand said, in Pinellas County and our surrounding counties is still extremely high. One thing that we're doing as a practice at the healthcare center is testing all visitors and vendors prior to entering the healthcare center. This has shown to be successful. We've identified between 8 and 10 individuals that are trying to come into the healthcare center that have tested positive for COVID-19. As you know, we have a vulnerable population at our healthcare center, so our job is to make sure that our loved ones stay protected and stay safe. So that's been a good practice, and we're going to continue that with the COVID transmission rate being so high in the county. Another thing, as you all know, as Grant mentioned, there has been an outbreak at the healthcare center. We have designated a COVID-19 positivity unit. So residents that are testing positive, we're testing them twice a week, are being moved to that unit and are there for about 10 days. And then they come off the observation unit and go to a zone we call our yellow zone. So they're still in observation, and we have the red zone, which is our COVID unit, and our green zone, which is our admission hallway, where for new admissions to come into the healthcare center. So it's been, you know, a long 2.5 years, but the staff are going through it and, you know, making sure we're wearing the proper PPE, N95s, face shields, gowns, etc., proper hand washing, infection control. But we have been mitigating it, and we're going to keep testing twice a week for 2 weeks until we have no new additional positive cases for 2 weeks after that. So as of right now, we'll be testing through the whole way through July, and then hopefully, but we have no new additional cases at the healthcare center. I'm trying to think what else. So CNA week was the week of June 19th to the 25th. There were a week full of fun events to celebrate our hardworking and dedicated CNAs. As you know, they're the workhorse of our healthcare center. They also received a gift from the community on the last day of CNA week. And the management team also washed the CNA's cars and did a total of 35 car washes for our staff members. So they got a great kick out of that, seeing the DON and Leslie and Christine out there, myself washing cars in 110-degree heat, and but they had a great time. So that's all that matters. Visitation is still open at the healthcare center, even though we are in a COVID outbreak. We're just discouraging visitation at this time. As much as possible. I know that, we still need to take care of our loved ones and see them. I know that's very, very important to them, but, if you're not feeling well, please do not come over, and just try to stay away at this time until you feel better. And then, Sherry talked about the assisted living in the budget. So the ALF was at a budget of 100% occupied, and it's still 100% occupied as of today. And for June, the skilled nursing was at a budget of 51 and a budget of 56. So as the occupancy is increasing month over month. I know it's been a slow process trying to recruit and making sure our employees stay, but it's been successful, and we're in the right direction. So I think you'll continue to see the healthcare center be a budget or above budget going forward. So that's exciting news for us. So thank you.
Good morning. So I am Betsy, I'm the Administrative Service Director. I wanted to share that I did hire a new part-time receptionist for the South Building, so everybody say hi to June, welcome her. I do complete all the weekly Tuesday Talk flyers, so if you guys have any suggestions and comments, let me know. We did update the annual hurricane presentation this year, so got rid of all that Brookdale logo. Working with our telecom right now still. I know a lot of people have brought it to my attention, so I wanted to make sure everybody knows. I am aware that when our building calls you on your cell phone, it is showing up as spam. So people are not answering the phone all the time. So for us to fix that, it is a little bit of a process to reach out to all the individual phone carriers and make them aware that our phone number here is a business phone number, it is not spam. So I'm working on that, and we'll keep everybody updated as we move forward with that. And then also assisted with the COVID-19 booster clinic. So I think that is it for me.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Christine with Innovative Home Services. We had 2 estate sales last month. We hired 2 new home health aides. We provided over 5,000 hours of service to the community here. We participated in the CNA week, which Kyle had said. They were very grateful and appreciative for everything that we did for them. We also participated in the COVID booster clinic, and Beatrice Bondonis won the Search a Word puzzle for June. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Short, sweet.
Good morning. My name is Dawn Evans. I'm the HR director, and I'm also helping out.
A little louder.
Put up, try again.
Good morning. I'm Dawn Evans. I'm the director of HR and also helping out in housekeeping. Updates for this month. We refreshed the orientation room showcase for the hospitality in all centers. I'm sorry?
I can speak right into it like this, and you have to hold it up there.
Okay.
Go right into
Speak
it.
louder. Higher.
This past month, we refreshed the orientation room to show the hospitality promises for all of our new-coming staff. And we also refreshed the employee boards in the employee areas of the North, South, and the Healthcare Center. We hired 23 new employees. We participated in CNA Week, which is a lot of fun. We also participated in the COVID booster clinic, and I am very pleased to announce that we hired a housekeeping manager, Wanda Newman, who will be completing her orientation this week. Thank
Hello, good morning. I'm Ginger, Programs Director. So a few accomplishments for June. We revisited the My Grand Story, and it's been a great success. And if they're sharing stories of career, personal accomplishments, wonderful family memories. And if anyone's interested, please give us a call. We had a new entertainer, Louis Fortunato, for our Father's Day celebration. He was very well received, and we're definitely gonna have him back. We're continuing our car wash and detailing program. It's the second Tuesday of every month, so sign up for that at the trip tables. And next week, our July cocktail party, we're gonna celebrate America, so wear your red, white, and blue. And it's 3:30 to 5 in the Grand Lobby South, and the Boomer Band is gonna be our entertainment. Our August trips are going to be posted today afternoon. So we have the Rays game on August 3rd. We have a luncheon at the Fairway Grill at the Dunedin Country Club. We are going to the Stafford House Museum and then lunch in Tarpon Springs on August 17th. August 19th, Friday, we're going to do the Safety Harbor Third Friday, which is great. They close down the whole street. They have bands and food trucks, etc. And our casino is Tuesday the 30th, 9:30. So sign up today, they'll be on the trip tables. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we have, sorry. Good morning, Ricky Baca, Food and Beverage. We just have a couple updates here. We had our monthly beer and wine clubs. We held our monthly birthday parties in the north and the south. We had our food and wine pairing event. We had our Father's Day, a 4th of July barbecue, and we're continuing to hire more and more servers. Thank you.
All right, Judy, I think we're ready for Q&A.
All right, anyone have questions?
I don't have a question, I just want to say something about any of you in talking about what Betsy was talking about, the problem with the robocalls coming through from Regency Oaks is spam. If you have a blocker, a spam blocker on your iPhone or Android smartphone, it's very simple to go into that program and you can put in a list of acceptable numbers. If you put Regency Oaks' main phone number in there, then their robocalls will come through to you without being labeled spam. But that's only if you have a spam blocker on your phone. If anybody has a problem with knowing how to do that, I'll be happy to help anyone who needs it.
Even without the spam blocker, if you put the front desk or Regency Oaks in your contacts, then it comes through without being spam. And that's simple to do.
wanted to make an announcement. I'm Tony Quattromani, I'm chair of the technology. I'm chair of the Technology and Communication Committee. A week and a half ago, in the Regency Oaks newsletter, I put in an announcement that we were going to try to hold classes on various subjects. But in order to do that, we needed to have an indication of what people would like to see in the classroom. I got one response. Out of all the people who read the Oaks, I got one response until today. And I got another one today. But today was done on voicemail, and unfortunately, I can't understand half of it. So somebody is going to show up on Monday morning wanting a class. Now I have to find out if I can get the classroom open. I have to find out what the subject is. So I'm telling you, this is not easy. We would love to be able to help people, but we need to know what you need help in ahead of time so we can schedule. So is any of my committee is here, I'd like to see you after the committee because we've got to find somebody to teach something.
We'll be ready.
I see Darwin is back, so we'll get his report and then we'll continue with Q&A.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Darwin, Plan Operations. This is some of the accomplishments we got complete last month. We did some repairs on the fire pump. That's why the alarm went off a couple of times, and apologize about that. The other one, the south cooling tower got completed already. Monday they're going to start working on the one on the north building. With the power outage, we did have to replace 2 of the motors that got burned out when the power went out. So we got that repaired. We got the elevator that got damaged by the fire. The main elevator, we got that repaired. It took a week on that too. We completed the sprinkler repairs that we got pointed out on the annual inspections. We got all those repairs completed too. Thank you.
Any other questions?
I have a question for Grant. I've noticed lately there's been a lot more dogs going through the breezeway. Just what is the policy for the dogs?
So it's a little complicated in that if your dog is not a pet but a service animal has access anywhere on the campus here at Regency Oaks, including our dining rooms and the breezeway. If you have a pet is not, should not be on in our dining rooms, anywhere we serve food, including the breezeway. Well, so the question is, how do you stop them? And it starts with knowing whether the animal is a service animal or a pet. And there's this misconception out there that if you have a service animal, they must be wearing a vest, and that's not true. A service animal is not required to wear anything to identify that they are a service animal. And so if you see a resident who has a dog in the breezeway and you are concerned that it may not be a service animal, the best thing to do is to call Leslie, and Leslie will not be here. the best thing to do is to call Leslie. She will look up on the file whether or not that dog is a service animal rated, and then she will have a personal conversation, one-on-one conversation with the resident who owns the dog.
I have another question.
Sure.
This morning, I went to the pool, went in the pool, and it was a little hot. I had to go in the hot tub in order to cool off.
So I just went into Dallas, getting that fixed. We got somebody going in there and playing with the controls. If they switch the temperature for the spout, they switch them. So we had a lock there. We just removed the lock not that long ago because the construction, but we're going to put a lock again.
How hot was that pool?
It was 102. It was pretty hot. Yeah. So we got somebody in there with the controls, but we're going to go ahead and put a lock. If we just drop it down, it's going to take a couple hours to drop it.
I just want to clarify one other point in Brant's answer. He's 100% correct about the service animals. But if you have a dog that's rated an emotional support animal, they do not have the same rights as a service animal. They cannot go to the dining room, they cannot walk through the breezeway, and they are not service dogs.
Nancy, how many dogs go through?
Quick observation, when you walk along the temporary walkway that has the campus cover,
I wouldn't.
you gotta go through a puddle. And some time ago, I turned in a request for having that, cleared up. And I guess maybe it got lost in the fire and the elevator incidences, but if you stop on the north edge of the puddle and you look up, you'll see why there's always a puddle there. There's a bucket of leaves that have been there for weeks, and it just backs up the water and then it slowly drips out onto the concrete. And it doesn't get a chance to work its way through the drainage system. So it would be very helpful if you could get somebody up on a ladder to clean out the drainage system.
Thank you, we'll address that.
With the workload. That's gonna be your answer.
Thank you. I have a question for Darwin. I don't know how many people had leaks on their lanai this past week with the heavy rain. I thought my lanai had been fixed when they were doing the building, filling all the gaps and the like. Apparently it wasn't, because I had 3 leaks, and I think if it rained harder, I'd had 5 like I had before, when it was all supposed to be fixed. I put in a work order, and I have not heard a word about when this would be looked at, taken care of. I don't think you can take care of it though, because they said it was a drain between the 5th and the 4th floor. And that was what they were gonna caulk when they had those big machines out here.
Yeah, I remember when we painted the building.
I looked for them to do that when they were here, supposedly to fix it. He was at one end of the building and the other. He was not anywhere near my windows.
My question is more about not being able to take my still remaining hamburger out of the dining room. Doesn't the servers take out 27 pounds of food each? I know it's part of their pay grade, as I think I was told. But if they can take it out, why can't I?
You got your dinner, they get their dinner.
But I'm not allowed to eat it, because I have to leave it there if I don't finish it. And I've been talked to by little old ladies that say they can only eat a little bit at a time. Do you have some badge that they might wear that says, let them take it home so they can eat it a little later at their stomach's convenience? I know it just seems wrong to not be able to take what I paid for out. That's all. I finished.
Twice a week. Mondays and Fridays.
Mondays and Fridays.
What was the question?
How often is the swimming pool cleaned?
Should be cleaned too.
It is cleaned on Mondays and Fridays.
Yes.
Any other questions?
It's open 7 days a week.
Clean.
Clean.
Brent, I'm sorry, but I did not hear when you say the fobs were gonna be installed. Could you?
So the first thing that will happen is the resident orientation meeting, and we think that is scheduled for the 19th. And then on the 19th, they will share with us the construction schedule. This is not a 1-week process. It's going to take many weeks because this is such a large project. So on the orientation meeting, that's when they'll share the schedule and when your floor will be scheduled for the install.
And that's the 19th of this month?
I think so.
They're arriving on the 19th.
19th, yes, it is confirmed.
Thank you.
You bet.
Hold it. Leslie's here.
Do you want to give it up?
No update on
Leslie does not have an update. All right, if that's all of the questions, I think this.
All right, and then I did bring the books down here at the end of the room for all the residents that were displaced that have been staying in our communities. If everybody wants to write them a little note in the book and welcoming them, or wishing them well while they're away, welcoming them back. Some of the residents are starting to return today, so we'd like to have a nice full book. And then once we're done here, we'll move them back up to the north lobby for everybody to sign.
Yeah, in fact, if we could focus on, let's pull the 3 that are scheduled to come back over the weekend. And so it's Miss Erickson, Miriam Byrne, and Jean Hott. So if we can focus on those 3. I know they'd really appreciate just a quick note, thinking of you, welcome home, glad you're back. And if we could do that, they'd really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming out.